Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
This is episode 797. I had to check before I did this, and not that it matters. It's just it's interesting to me because it's quite a track record, something continuing on and on and on. But the thing I want to talk about today was something I as I was thinking about, hey, that would be a good topic. I kept asking myself, I can't believe I haven't talked about that. I had to look, and I did a search. I have a whole database of all the episodes I've done and who I've talked to and all the keywords, and I've never talked about this. And I think it's a really important topic. But I was at an area-wide event within AmSpirit Business Connections. For those who are not familiar, we have periodic events in the various regions, certainly, and some online, where people from any part of the organization can meet people in other parts of the organization. And so I was at one a couple months ago, and it was being run by one of our longtime directors and franchisees, Dean Curry. And he is one of the training programs he does a lot is called Balanced Scorecards. And it's something we have a whole a whole litany of different training programs, and Balanced Scorecards is the one that he really is comfortable doing and enjoys talking about. And so at any rate, corporate America uses Balanced Scorecards as a means of helping it focus its actions toward success. And what's a balanced scorecard? It's simply a list of action items focused on an objective the company wishes to achieve. And the thought process is that once the list is completed, it'll substantially increase the likelihood that a company will succeed in achieving whatever. And so the gist of the balanced scorecard is that success is formula driven, and that if you adhere to the formula, and there's a formula for anything. There's a formula for being healthy. Drink 8 glasses of water, eat a balanced diet, undertake routine exercise. That's a formula. There's a formula for selling a house. You get the house, you appropriately price it, you put it in the multiple listing service, you place a sign in the yard and have an open house. And if you do those things, you substantially increase the likelihood you'll sell the house. Again, not a guarantee. Bad markets, but realtors who have deviated from that formula have generally met with failure or certainly frustration. So there's really a formula for anything, and understanding that success is formula driven, we can apply a balanced scorecard to being successful in networking. And that's what Dean talks on. And Dean, as he's talking, it's like, okay, I should really, this would be a great topic for the podcast, but I can't believe I've never done it. So, with that introduction, I kind of want to review some of the things that Dean had said, certainly from an AmSpirit perspective, but then also from a general perspective, because there are some of you listening are AmSpirit members, and some are just interested in networking and what has to be said. And so when Dean talks about this, he has a chapter balance scorecard. He's got a chapter member balance scorecard, and then there's one just for general networking. Now, the chapter balance scorecard has on it things like, each month, basically look at, do a comparison of the referrals for the month. and compare that to other months. Compare it to the goal. Compare it to the goal that you've got. And just by that action of sitting down and saying, hey, we have a goal, let's compare our results to our goal, will increase the likelihood you'll be successful. Likewise, we ask chapters, don't let people go 2 months without getting a referral. Just really, when somebody goes a month without getting a referral, somebody goes a month without getting a referral, we don't want to happen again, so we're going to pull out all stops to make sure that those people get referrals the next month. And if every month we really, really hone in on that, we increase the likelihood of being successful. Likewise, we encourage our chapters to have a board meeting. Now, the point I want to make with respect to all these things is all these things are in the chapter's control, right? The chapter either compares its results to the goal or it doesn't. Now, it might not hit its goal, but the mere fact that it's undertaking the activity is going to increase the likelihood. It's not like shooting a free throw, where you're shooting a free throw, and there's a chance that you'll miss. Some people are really good at shooting free throws. If you remember Shaq, he was horrible at it. So there's a chance to success with respect to that. Obviously, practice comes into play, but here it's either you did or you didn't, right? You compared your goal to the actual results. You took the time to make sure that somebody didn't fail to get a referral for 2 months in a row. It might fail, but the fact that you're really focused in on it, having board meetings. Are you focused in on it? Are you doing a board meeting? You either do a board meeting or you don't do a board meeting. And what a board meeting is that's our officers getting together quickly after a regular meeting once a month, and just talking about, okay, what's working, what's not working, what do we need to tweak? 15 minutes. What are the things we need to address? You either do it or you don't. So it's it's not subject to chance. Conducting training within the chapter. Making sure that the chapter's doing training 6 times a year, 4 times a year, whatever. Just you set a goal and just commit to, okay, we're going to make this happen. And it's not a guarantee you're going to be successful. It's just going to increase the likelihood. And then we encourage our chapters to make sure that they have members attending our area-wide functions, just to get out and meet other people, and don't be an island in the organization, is what we say. With respect to chapter members, we ask people to focus in on, giving 2 referrals a month. Really make it part of your mission that you're going to do that. People who give more, and this is not just an AmSpirit Business Connections thing, it's a life thing. People who give more get more. And so if you focus attention on that, and you're not always going to be successful, but if you're focusing attention on it, you're going to be more successful. Bringing guests to chapters, just make it what you do. Tied into the chapter goals, making sure that you're going to area-wide functions, making sure that have on your balanced scorecard. These are the extracurricular activities I'm going to do. I'm going to do things outside of the chapter with other chapter members, or maybe it's a lunch assignment or going to a social. But these extracurricular activities outside the regular chapter meeting, and then along the same lines, make sure you're involved in outside activities. We tell members, just don't make this the only networking that you do. You'll be much more successful. You'll have more referrals to give, more guests to bring if you get outside this organization and go to chamber functions, go to open houses, go to trade shows, go to seminars. And there's always a lot of networking at seminars, even the online ones. You're always meeting somebody new. But those are the AmSpirit related ones. The non-AmSpirit ones are just the general networking ones are very similar. Create a balanced scorecard. Just a list, and say, okay, I'm going to give no less than 2 quality referrals every month. I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to figure out how to work, make it work. I'm going to focus attention on it. And chances are you focus attention on it, you're going to be able to give a referral every month, 2 a month. And by doing that, you're going to substantially increase the likelihood that you're going to meet with networking success. Identify and reestablish meaningful ongoing contacts with someone, someone that you've known but lost contact with. Just, make it every month. I'm going to go and I'm going to look at my your I call it the electronic Rolodex. You're going to look at your Rolodex, okay? You know what? Geez, I haven't talked to Bird in forever, He left, he lives on another part of town. We don't run in the same circles, but I need to reconnect. And you just make a point of every month I'm going to do that. And again, it's either you do it or you don't. It's really that simple. Now, you might reach out to somebody and they may not respond, but you've done what you need to do. And chances are people will respond. And so you'll reestablish contact with those people. Meet somebody new. In addition to reconnecting with people that you from the past, every month meet somebody new. Somebody of significance. To establish what I call a significant relationship, I'll put it that way. A good enough relationship that you can go have a cup of coffee. You know them by name. You know what they do. It's not uncomfortable to meet with them. I mean, I'm not saying you need to have all the details. Are they married? Do they have kids? All that stuff. But just start to cultivate a new relationship with somebody. One a month. If you want to do more, that's great. Some people don't do any. Some people do a lot. But it's in your control. It's totally in your control whether you're going to meet somebody new. In this, in the LinkedIn age, we'll call it, you can find people to have a contact with. Reach out to somebody. Hey, I see you're a realtor. Love to have a cup of coffee with you. Send a message to them. I see you do. You're a life coach, or I see you do this. Would love to get to know you. Let's do something over Zoom. Again, people, it might not happen. They may not follow up, but you can certainly reach out to 3 or 4 people, enough people to make it happen. Chances are, if you approach it right, it'll all work out. Making sure that you're going to a networking function or activity once a month, right? It might be a lunch sort of thing. It might be, it might be business after hours. There's some sort of networking thing going on. A seminar. There's always things going on. And then a couple times a month, just one-on-one contact with somebody in your network. Hey, let's go have lunch. Let's go have a cup of coffee. Let's catch up. It's not somebody you're reconnecting with. It's not somebody new. It's somebody who's kind of in your orbit and just kind of touching base. So they're stay in your orbit, if you will. Now, if you do those things, or whatever you have on your list, but it's got to be things on your list have got to be things that are really easy to accomplish. Just getting up and putting my shoes on every day, right? I'm gonna drink water every day. I'm gonna go for a walk every day. Make it things that's easy to accomplish, and it's not going to guarantee your success, but it makes it much more likely that you will meet with success by just making sure you check all the boxes that you set up on your balanced scorecard.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AMSPIRIT.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connection. All rights reserved.